Hey, welcome back everyone to another video of Spring Boot series. In the last video we discussed how can we return an object back for a GET request. But that's not very practical because what we are doing right now, we are asking controller to create an object for us and fill that object properties and return that object back. But in a practical scenario, we're going to have a different layer doing that work for us, and that's going to be a service layer, right? Service layer task is to get a populated object from the database and give it back to the controller, right? So what I'm trying to say is that if we have a service layer that sits between our database object and a controller, that layer is going to serve us the object coming from the database and give it back to the controller, right? So let me actually try to demonstrate that. How can we do that? So let's create another class, and since we are talking about a service layer, so we'll name it around service. Since our object name is videos, right? So let's name it video service. Okay, and as I was mentioning, the primary responsibility of this class is to take an object and give it back to the controller. That is it, right? It's not going to do anything other than that. Since it's a service and Spring comes with different annotation, so we can annotate this with a service annotation. So one thing to remember about all these annotation is these different annotation are actually coming from the parent annotation, which is a component annotation, and I'm going to discuss that in a different video, how these annotations are important to us, right? So and now this video service class is going to take these videos object and return it back to the controller, right? But before that, let's change this videos to video, because I think it should be singular since we are talking about just one object. All right, and rename it back file name as well, so stop complaining. All right, so now we have a video object and then video service. Let's create a controller as well. We'll create a video controller, right? And then the way we annotated service layer with service, we're going to annotate controller with the REST controller, right? We could have annotated that with a controller, but REST controller is a more specific, more specialized controller, and it actually inherited from the controller annotation, right? So inside the video controller, we want a couple of get methods, post methods that's going to retrieve videos for us or post videos for us, right? So let's create a very simple get mapping, and we'll do public. We want to return a video object, and then we'll do get video, and then right here we'll do get mapping, and we'll say we want videos, right? So initially we were populating the videos object here, and we were doing video. Just let it down again so we can actually see the difference. And then we were doing video dot set title, and we were setting some title, right? Video dot set description, and then we were returning this video object back, right? So this was what we were doing before, but essentially we don't need to do this. We want to do all of this in the service layer, right? So let's go back to the video service class, and right here what we'll do, we have this video object, and so since we don't have a database tied up yet, so what we are going to do, we are going to create a collection, a list, and inside that list we are going to put couple of video object, right? So let's create a list that's going to contain video objects. Let's name it videos. Okay, I'm going to import our utility, and we'll say it's an array list. All right, and now we're going to put couple of videos in this. So let's say videos dot okay, so let's make it a static, so we don't have to create another method. We'll do videos dot add, and we'll create one video object that has a title and a description. It's complaining it's not a static, so let's make it a static. So title is like intro video, description is Spring Boot introduction. So let's create another object. We'll say chapter 1. Let's just remove intro video. Let's just remove video. Then we'll say Spring Boot first chapter. Okay, so now we have two objects inside the list, right? So this list is going to work as a database for us for now, until we have a database tied up, right? Which is we're going to have in other videos, upcoming videos, right? So now we have a list with two videos. Let's create a method that can return videos to us. So we have this method public list videos that's returning videos to us. It's going to return the entire list. And then let's create another method public that's just going to return a video, a single video, get video by title, right? So if someone sends us the title, we're going to iterate over the list. So we'll say for each, and we'll say for each video inside the video list, right? Just format it properly. Okay, so if video title, video dot get title is equal to the title like given to us in the param, then just return that object, right? Then just return that video object. Otherwise, let's just return null for now, and that's it. So we have two methods. One is returning the entire list, and another is iterating over the list and finding the object that has the matching title, right? So now our service layer is ready, is annotated with service. Now we are ready to utilize that service layer from our controller, right? Since we have a service layer, we don't need any of that stuff. Let's remove everything, and then let's now call the service. So normally we would have done video service, and then service equals to new video service, right? But that's not great, because now we cannot test this method unless we also test video service, right? So Spring Boot comes with auto-wired annotation. So that's where dependency injection of Spring Boot really shines. So we can auto-wire video service. Since Spring Boot knows about all the components when it starts the application, it knows about video service as well. So we can simply auto-wire it, and it prepares video service for us. Now we have video service instance ready for us to use, right? So we can say video service dot get videos, right? So let's see. Obviously we need to return this, and the videos get videos returns a list, but we are just returning a single object, so let's make it return a list instead. Right? So we can see right now we are calling the service layer, and service layer is going inside the collection. This particular method is just returning the entire collection, right? So in reality you would have a database, and then database can have like hundreds of objects, and then you can return all of those objects back. I'm not talking about performance now. It's not a good idea to return everything, but just for the sake of this particular demonstration, let's assume we are returning everything back, right? So now we have everything back here. Let's run our application. It's not gonna run because I think we have an error here. Let's comment that. It's going to comment this for now. We are not using it. Let's go back here. Let's run it again. Okay, you can see it's going to run in the same way that we discussed in the last videos, and Tomcat has been started. Let's go back to Postman, and now here our endpoint is, let me just verify videos. We'll see videos, and it should return both two videos to us. Okay, it's doing something. So you can see it returned intro, that's video 1 object, and then chapter 1 for video 2 object, right? So if you remember in last lecture we put JSON ignore on top of description. That's why we are not seeing description in the response. So let's remove that, and let's save it again, and I'm going to rerun it. Alright, as soon as this comes back up, we are ready to hit the updated endpoint. Let's hit it again, and we should see description now. Very cool. So we can see description for both the videos. So pretty straightforward. We just introduce a service layer now in between, which is going to talk to database and give the object back to the controller. And that's it for this video. We're going to talk about repositories, other annotations in the next video, so stay tuned for videos like that. Thank you.